Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Can I get a Roll Tide inside the comment box? I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much for joining us today. It is Thursday. It is April 17th. And as I said, and I lead up with the title, and I'm like, this is huge. You know what's huge is that 0 players have entered the transfer portal from the University of Alabama going into the second day. Okay, are players going to leave, in the transfer portal? I don't know, but I was thinking about this, and as I was reading about Tennessee's quarterback and now him going out to UCLA, and I'll touch on that this morning, and I'll give my shout outs in just a second. But my opening comment is this: I mean, you know what this says about Alabama football and its roster and about its coaching staff and about the stability. Number one, you have stability, but number two, it says a lot about the culture. Because I'll tell you what, if there was time to panic. If there was any time to panic in the world of covering Alabama football, you being an Alabama football fan, it would have been, yesterday when the transfer portal happened, because these players would have had an opportunity to see where they're at going into year 2 of Coach DeBoer. They would have either bought into the program or they wouldn't have, right? And they have bought into the program. These guys not entering the portal says so much about the culture and the players. And just as Coach DeBoer said, we all know that the grass isn't greener, right, on the other side. But I think the coach's message to the players to convey to them, like, look, this is the process where we're at. This is what we're going to do. This is where you're at on the roster. We're going to work you in. We got a lot of components coming back. And the culture within the locker room is fresh. It's been rejuvenated. There's a lot of players that are no longer here that I think were probably a little bit more attached to the former coach, which is clearly understandable. But now that Coach DeBoer is here and he's got his guys, the culture seems like it has refreshed, and man, we're rolling. So look, I get it. And Todd is saying you better not jinx it. Do I think a player will hit the transfer portal from Alabama? Probably so, right? I have no idea who that is, but my point is, it's refreshing, and I think it says a lot about Alabama within the first, 24, 36 hours that a player hasn't hit. Okay, so look, if a player comes out and does decide to hit the transfer portal, we'll cover it. I'm playing some golf today at 1 p.m. Usually when I'm on the golf course, news happens. And look, the transfer portal works both ways, right? That means that Alabama could definitely go into the transfer portal and pull someone out. And we'll go over that today. The meat of the show today will be about the offensive line. And there's a lot of high points about the offensive line. If you're looking to support the show, like Keith is saying, and I'll get to my shout outs in just a minute. It's at the very bottom of the screen right here. It says Venmo, Bama_YouTube, and Cash App Bama YouTube. And I appreciate all the support. I really do. So this is my full-time gig. This is what I do for a living. And I appreciate you guys supporting me. All right. And if you guys are asking about the Ryan Williams hoodie, look, we still have space available for the raffle. And how the raffle works out is, and we're going to do the pinwheel. So we'll probably do the pinwheel today. There's still room. So $10 to enter, either Venmo or Cash App. And then you're entered into the raffle to win the Ryan Williams hoodie, okay? This is something that we're going to do. We'll do some high market value items, and we'll do, some lower end, ticket items. This is probably like a mid-range. If you want to just support the players in general, go to Athletes Thread, and you can buy your own gear. Type in Ryan Williams, type in Jam Miller, type in, Wilcom Formby, Run the Ball or whatever, and you can, get your own thread. It's officially licensed merchandise that goes back to the players. So, that's how to support the players. But we still have room. So I'll show you the pinwheel real quick. And this is how it works. If you haven't seen the pinwheel before, the pinwheel is not rigged, okay? All right? So here's the pinwheel. Juwan, what's up, man? I appreciate you being here. So we still have room to enter the raffle. It's $10 to win that hoodie. So jump inside either Venmo or Cash App. We still have a couple spots available. But, yeah, we'll do the pinwheel here pretty soon. All right, let me do some shout-outs real quick and see who's checked in today. We got a big show today. I appreciate you guys rolling with us. We got Keith Mays. We're going to add you in just a second. Appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. I see that you just came in. All right, Keith Mays is in. Keith Mays. Let me write that down real fast, and then we'll keep going. Keith Mays. Appreciate you, Keith. You're not in the portal, but you're here, bro. All right, let's see who's here up in the house. Wow. All right, Max, what's up, man? Alyssa, what's going on? Herman, always checking in, perfect attendance. Caitlin, the boss, is like, what's huge? What I said, no players in their transfer portal within the first day. I think that's absolutely huge. Appreciate you being here. Jeff Stapleton, what's up, bro? I appreciate you being here this morning. We got Southern Red up in the house. Good morning, Southern Red. Thank you so much for being here. Chris Waltman, always checking in. Anita, what's going on? Soli 462, what's up? Reaver, good to see you, bro. Raise the bar, what's up, man? Melon Jesus, Nicole up in the house. Rocket Town, Davis, Chris, man, what's up? I love this name right here. Puggy Power, Puggle Power. All right, Mr. Don 73, what's up, man? Coming to us from Coleman. Nick, what's going on, man? Appreciate you being here. Dwight, bro, see you inside the comment box, man. Dwight's been here for a long time. Patrick Spencer, good morning, man. There's a lot of people rolling through today and this morning. So if I didn't hit you, Larry Large, man, I got to give it to my Larry Large. And then Billingsley, what's up? And then Wilder is in with another spot too. All right, we're almost close to the pinwheel, to be honest. So get in the pinwheel action, how to do that. Either Venmo Bama under YouTube or Cash App Bama YouTube. All right, look, before we get to, a couple things Alabama, football related, and we're going to be talking mostly about the offensive line today and piping in some sound. We'll do the pinwheel and stuff. Look, I talk about the culture of the program to kind of lead off. And look, Tennessee and the situation that's happening around Nico, and you saw that he's going to UCLA. Man, what an ugly situation for Nico and the people that are kind of guiding this young man. Look, I have no idea who Nico is as a person. I'm sure he's a fine individual. But we're getting to a place where these handlers, the agents, and the parents are making these players look terrible by asking for more and more and more. I'm going to say this more and more time about Nico. He is a good quarterback. He is not great. He is not elite. He is not worth $4 million as a quarterback. I don't even know where he'd be in the quarterbacks of the SEC. Let me ask you real quick. Hit me with the yes, hit me with the no inside the comment box. Do you think that he was one of the 5 best returning quarterbacks in the SEC? Yes or no? One of the 5 best in the SEC returning, yes or no? I would say no. Look, I think he has a lot to work on as a player. I thought he was good, and I thought he showed some glimpses that, he could be something. But in terms of, him being absolutely elite, stellar, nah, not it. Definitely not worth $4 million. Dang, someone's coming to us from, McConnell's coming to us from Thailand. Every once in a while we get viewers. We have a lot of viewers in, Southeast Asia. Right? But as you can see, when I asked the question, is Nico, one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the SEC? No. There's a few players that could probably ask for something because of their own playmaking ability. Nico's not one of them. Okay? Kirk Herbstreit recently said, he was like, look, have some balls and stand up to the players. It was, I will say this, it was refreshing to see Tennessee kind of stand its ground, okay? Josh Heupel is the right man for that job, okay? They've been in a better place since he's taken over. So, him kicking rocks, going over to California, as someone mentioned, the taxes, there's no income tax in the state of Tennessee, and California is a different story. So, look, best wishes to the kid. I don't know, what's going to happen, but it turned into a really big story in a negative way for him personally. And I think while his dad feels that he's everything, sometimes you feel like that ego, he's good. He's not great. He's definitely not elite. Okay. Jordan asked this straight up. He was like, who is the best quarterback from the SEC? Damn good question. Who do you think is the best quarterback in the SEC? Seriously, post your quarterback. Who's really good is Lenora Sellers. And Alabama will play Lenora Sellers on the road this time. This is great right here. And you know what? Mateer coming in from Washington State at Oklahoma, he's up there. I think a lot of people are going to go to Arch Manning. People are going to be talking about DJ Lagway. Garrett Nussmeier, good early list. Antoine, thank you. But there's one quarterback that you guys haven't listed. Mateer's tight. Nussmeier, he's good. I don't know if he's great. And JTL is inside the comment box. He's an LSU fan. Garrett Nussmeier is really good. Against Alabama, he didn't do anything. I don't know. Arch Manning, I think probably the favorite up at top. Oh, forgot about Pavia. Yo, Diego Pavia's coming back. Dang. So rewinding, where does Nico fall within those quarterbacks? Oh, Jackson Arnold, he beat Alabama head-to-head. Damn, that's what I'm saying. Yo, Nico, I don't know if he's better than any of those quarterbacks that we were talking about, especially with his deep ball. His deep ball accuracy was not there at all. You know, I think with like a player like Pavia, that guy has just like a competitive spirit. I don't know how talented he is overall. Like that guy is ultra talented. Arch Manning, ultra talented. We have a pretty damn good quarterback here too. A couple of them here in Tuscaloosa, but good opening comments in terms of the quarterback. Look, Charlie Potter, Bama Online. Look, a lot of these team writers do such a great job. Whether you go with Charlie Potter, Mike Rodak, Nick Kelly, Tony Sukalis, all these guys putting in the work. Charlie Potter has an article where he interviews Jason Simpson. If you want to read that, go over to Bama Online. Really good interview. They go back and forth. The thing that's great about Ty Simpson's father is he's coached college football for many, many years. He's a head football coach at UT Martin. And he goes one-on-one with Charlie Potter. They go back and forth about Ty Simpson. Really good interview. Definitely go check it out. And he says this: I think that's something that he learned from a couple years ago, that you got to prove yourself every day. And that's probably why they said it like that. And what they're talking about is he earned where he's at this point in time based off working for it. And this is why we love Ty Simpson, because let me ask you this. Eyes up. On a scale of 1 to 10, what type of entitlement have we seen, have we heard from Ty Simpson? 10, it's all been entitlement, and hey, you've been the guy, you're here, you're going to get the job. Have we heard anything from him? I would say it was, like, if I had to vote in terms of entitlement, I would say 0. I don't think this guy has asked for anything other than just showing up at practice every single day and waiting for his opportunity to be the guy. And that's why we love a player like this, because in this world of like, pay me before I've even produced, he hasn't been that guy. And we're not involved in conversations behind, when they're talking about NIL and this stuff, but we understand. People know, people understand, because people can read you, bro. People smell BS. And this guy has not been that guy. This guy has been in the film room, working on his craft, working with Ryan Grubb, working with the other quarterbacks, competing against the other quarterbacks, working on being a commander of that group, working on the camaraderie. You saw him taking the guys out hunting, doing guy stuff. Ryan's asking about the latest on Julian Sain. Did Julian Sain win the quarterback job at Ohio State? Because I know I think he was battling. I don't know if he's a starter, Julian Sain. Good question. If there's a college football fan out there that's seen something, post it inside the comment box. And just as I asked, look, the undefeated knows inside the comment box, look, -5, 0, 0. This guy isn't entitled. And that's the thing about, that's another reason why to love this guy, is because if he's working his tail off to be the guy and he's earning it on his own merit, that's the guy that we want to roll with. And the other guys, it doesn't mean that we don't like the other guys or the other guys aren't capable to be the guy. It just means at this point in time, this is the best person for the job. And how refreshing was it for this, okay? How refreshing was it when Ryan Grubb just stepped up to the podium and was like, hey, look, if we were to have a game tomorrow, Ty Simpson would be the guy. There wasn't I don't know who's going to be the best guy. Like, just tell it to us. We can accept it, and we'll go forward with it. So, really good article out there right now regarding Jason Simpson and talking about, Ty's overall progress. The NFL draft is next. Is the 24th. When's the 24th? Is that in 7 days, right? That's next Thursday. 3 players from Alabama. All right, Chad, I got you in another time, bro. Thank you so much for the super. Still got time for the Ryan Williams hoodie raffle. $10 Bama underscore Venmo or Bama underscore YouTube on Venmo, Cash App. We got a few more spots. 3 players from Alabama that played here will be going to Green Bay. Pretty cool that they're having the NFL draft in Green Bay. And it's going to be Jalen Milroe, Tyler Booker, and Jahad Campbell. These guys have aspirations to be drafted in the first round. I've been saying a long time that Jahad Campbell was a first-round draft pick, like well before the draft stuff came out. Tyler Booker, I feel that it looks like he could be a late first-round guy. You know, getting any of these guys to your program, to your organization, it's going to be positive, right? Have you seen or heard anything negative about the character for Milroe, for Booker, for Jahad Campbell? No, you haven't. That's why I love these Alabama guys coming out, because they don't have character issues. The biggest question, clearly, and what I'm going to ask you, is Jalen Milroe's going to Green Bay. And as you continue to see, this has been one of the hottest topics when talking about the NFL draft. Is it starting to seem like Jalen Milroe's a second-round pick? I mean, he wouldn't be going up to Green Bay unless he fully knew that he was going to be drafted in rounds 1 or 2. So let me just ask you this. I don't think he's going to be – you know what? Let me ask you like this. Do you feel that Jalen Milroe is taken in rounds 1 or 2? Type 1 for 1 or type 2 for round 2? And if you know who he's going to go to, then type that as well. Look, there's a lot of teams that need quarterbacks. If you follow the NFL, man, oh my God. And the backups in the NFL are terrible. And you know this if you played fantasy football. Your backup quarterback, oh my goodness. If your starter goes out, you're done. Like the guy behind Tua. If anybody should have the best backup quarterback, it should be the Dolphins after Tua. And you have Skylar Morin? All right, so everybody's saying 2. Yeah. All right. Steelers. You know what? I would like to see Jalen with the Steelers. I know people have been talking about the Giants too. Oh, Keith hit us with the Venmo. He said, support for greatness. That's what's up, Keith. Thank you so much, bro. I appreciate it. And look, now we're gonna move to the meat of the show, which is talking about the offensive line. Okay, we just got a subscriber from Faith FA. But I want to tell you this, okay? I want to tell you this. So eyes up again. Every single show and every single time I step onto this platform, these shows are from my heart. All right. I love being here. I'm grateful for the small opportunities that I have. And I just want you to know that I really appreciate you being here. Okay. I also have a men's devotional channel that I just started. I'm working on myself. I'm trying to pour into myself. I wanted to become, tightened up in that game. And, you should, if you could check it out, I'd appreciate it. It's a spiritual journey. So I appreciate it. But thank you for being here. I really want you to know, that I appreciate it. All right. Still some time to get into the raffle. So $10 to win, for a chance to win this hoodie. Okay. And if you just want to support the players overall, please go to Athletes Thread or go to, I think I even saw Dick's Sporting Goods, the student store. You can buy officially licensed merchandise that goes back to support the players. So there's still some time to get in. Venmo is Bama_YouTube. Cash App is Bama YouTube. Okay. Still got a couple more spots open for that. Okay. Hey, Brandon, what's up? Thanks for becoming a subscriber. Okay. So the meat of the show, something else that is super important and super huge was the fact that Alabama had, I think, a positive step forward with the offensive line. Because let's be honest. Let me ask you this, okay? Stop the music. Whoosh. What was your biggest question and concern going into spring football on the offensive side of the ball? Okay? What was your biggest question with Alabama's offense going into spring ball, okay? And I think if you don't say what's happening with the offensive line, like that was the biggest thing. We knew that there was 3 capable quarterbacks and that there's going to be a new system. Like we were excited about all that. Maybe we were trying to figure out who the hell the offensive coordinator was going to be. But I think as you'll see, the right tackle, right? So when I go over this depth, offensive line, tackle, see, it's mostly offensive line, right? So turn the music up. I do all this stuff. I act like I have like a producer, but it's really me. Turn it up. All right. See, Todd is saying right tackle. Exactly. So here's what I feel the Alabama first team offense would be. Like if we went out and we had a game against Florida State, here's your first team offense. All right. Isaiah Horton, Ryan Williams, Jerry Bernard are my starting wide receivers. And I got Ryan Williams at that slot position. And he probably catches for 225 yards against Florida State in the first game. I got Ty Simpson. I got Jam Miller as my quarterback and my running back, okay? And then the left tackle, I got Caden Proctor, Cam DeBoer, the transfer from Texas A&M. I got Parker Brailsford. I got Jaden Roberts, who returns. I got Wilcom Formby, and I got Josh Cuevas as my tight end, okay? That's a pretty look. As we've kind of closed out, because the last couple of days we talked about the quarterback, running back, and I told you today offensive line, and then we'll move into the defensive side. Moving forward as we kind of get past spring football. The offense looks pretty nice. I mean, the wide receivers I've already talked to you about that. That's one of the best groups that probably in college football, to be honest. Hey, and Chad Campbell, I think you sent in a Venmo. It said it was canceled. I don't know what that means. But the offense I think, took steps forward, is my point. And that was one of the biggest things is we needed to see what Wilcom Formby was going to do. And look, I'm still kind of curious to see if Alabama takes a transfer from the offensive line. I would think they do. Look. Here's another graphic that I think will paint the picture a little bit better. Okay, this is how I have the offensive line at this point in time, and I updated this before the show. So on the left side, the top row is my first team. I got Caden Proctor, Cam Dewberry, the transfer in from A&M, Parker Brailsford, the transfer in from Washington, Jaden Roberts, a returning starter, and then I got Wilcom Formby on the right side. Okay, and then my second tier, I guess Olas Alanen. It looks like he's a player that really took steps forward in being a quality reserve. And even though he's listed as kind of an interior guy, it looks like he was getting a lot of work at the tackle position. You have Geno Vandermark, who could probably play left guard, right guard, or he could be in the center, right? All right, Chad Campbell, you're in, bro. Got you. And then I think when you look to kind of the 2 deep, I'm trying to figure out who we're going to go with for the 2 deep, at center. I think it might be Geno Vandermark, to be honest. Like in an emergency situation, I'd probably go with Geno Vandermark. That's how versatile of a player is. You look at Michael Carroll, you look at Jackson Lloyd. I think those guys are probably 2 or 3s, which isn't bad. That doesn't mean they're not good. It's just like that's where they're at. Chad, it looks like we got that Cash App to go through. Here's Coach Kalen DeBoer speaking about, most importantly, the right side, which is Wilcom Formby. So I'm going to pipe in some sound. You know how we do it, back and forth. So here is Coach Kalen DeBoer speaking about Wilcom Formby and also hitting on Olas Alanen. It's a really good soundbite as we talk about Alabama's offensive line. And then we're going to do this with Coach Kalen DeBoer, and then we have some sound coming in from Ryan Grubb. So Kalen DeBoer up at the podium talking about Wilcom Formby and Olas Alanen.
Spring that Wilcom Formby had, and also a couple of the backup offensive tackles.
Yeah, Wilcom, he's really come along a long ways, and we just met this morning, a group of us with him, and I think the thing that you lose sight of sometimes is if you flipped on the film a year ago, what would it look like? We're in it every single day with him, and he's just focused on the now, but you peel back a little bit, and it's. I think sometimes you forget how far a guy has come, and that's the case with him. And it's a physical piece, it's a discipline piece for every guy. But I think as an offensive lineman, especially a tackle, there's so many little details now that he's picking up on that he wouldn't have picked up on even late in the season last year. And so it's more reps. It's just another cycle through, just like for all these guys of relearning the system, hearing the details again over and over, adding to your game. But he's gotten stronger. He's more confident. He's still, again, every day, got to get better. He's a tackle for us that, we need to rely on to get it done, not just at an okay level, at an elite level to accomplish our goals. And I think the other guy to point out would be Olas. Olas just did a nice job having to move around a little bit. I think his probably flexibility to move different spots. You thought of him as more as an interior guy. He really continues to reshape his body and do some things that I think have really lent him to us feeling very comfortable with him in multiple spots, left side, right side, inside, outside. So I'm really proud of him. I think Arkell's a guy that's coming along. He's a developmental player, but doing a great job. His heart's in it. The guys love him. He works extremely hard. He's a blessing to have here for sure. The young guys, I think, getting thrown in the fire. Jackson Lloyd, Michael Carroll, they are going to be phenomenal football players, at tackle. They have different strengths. They come from, opposite ends of the country, obviously, but their exposure to different things. But they actually, were really impressive, I think, in how far they've come. I'm excited about their future for sure.
All right, that was Coach Kalen DeBoer talking about Wilcom Formby and Olas Allen, and Keith Mays just hit us with, I thought it was a 10 spot. I go in and he said 100 spot. He says, thanks for the great work. Keith Mays, thank you so much, bro. I really, really appreciate it. If you want to get in this Ryan Williams raffle, you still have just a few minutes and $10 either Bama_YouTube or Cash App. And we're just about to run the pinwheel here in a second. I think the biggest takeaways for me for this spring ball was the offensive line. And I think I'm still, to be honest, look, I feel better about Wilcom Formby taking steps forward, but I still am cautiously optimistic about the twos behind Formby. Like, if you kind of go to my graph right here, you don't have a lot of experience behind the left tackle and the right tackle. I think hearing that Olas Allen took steps forward is certainly great. Case being a fan funder for 10 months now. Dang, man, appreciate it. In Case, I don't know if your Cash App went through yesterday, bro. It said like canceled or something like that. So if you want to get in that hoodie, you have a few minutes. So I don't know how good the two deep is here, but I am optimistic that we did hear really good things about Wilcom Formby, because let's face it, that was the biggest thing that we needed to know. Look, you lost a lot of tackles. We don't talk about that a lot, but you lost what? Elijah Pritchett, help me out, guys. You lost Elijah Pritchett. You lost Miles McVay. You lost Naquil Bentrade. Nick has just gifted 10 Bama football fan funderships. Man, this show's off the chain today. Dang, that's what's up. Case in with the super chat. Dang, okay, Case, we got you in. All right, Case with the super. All right, we're close to running the pinwheel. And who else hit us with a fan funder? Case has added 10 fan funderships, and so is Nick. So now inside the comment box, you've just been gifted a fan fundership, which is another way to support Bama football on YouTube. So say thank you to Case and Nick. So look, that was the biggest thing, because you lost a lot of offensive tackles, so you needed Wilcom Formby, who's a hometown dude, to be able to stand up and to make progress going forward. All right, that was a huge piece of information from Coach Kalen DeBoer regarding the Alabama offensive line, because let's face it, the Alabama offensive line last year was not it. It wasn't. And look, there was a lot of things that, were on Jalen Milroe 100%, but also the offensive line, that just wasn't it. It felt like that was one of the, I don't know, at least on the right side, they got dominated. It didn't feel like it was Pritchett. It didn't feel like it was Formby. There was a lot of issues there. Here's Coach Kalen DeBoer talking about a player who had a really big big breakthrough with Olas Allen and Michael Carroll. And we have not spun the wheel. We're about to do it here in a few minutes. Coach Kalen DeBoer talking about Olas Allen and Michael Carroll.
Olas's ability to play both positions, but in an ideal world, is him and Michael Carroll, do you like what they are at tackle, or would you rather move inside? And is tackle a position that maybe if the right guy arises, is that something you're looking for in the portal?
Yeah, good question. I think that's a good question as far as just, I think, development of guys. And I can think, and we could sit here forever and talk about some scenarios have been even over the last 2 to 3 years where a guard has moved to tackle and a tackle has moved to guard, and you thought you recruited a guy for this spot and he became an NFL player and first-round draft pick at a different one, Michael probably in particular, because we were obviously involved in his recruitment more so than Olas, but Michael, probably was recruited more as a guard, and he might become that someday. I don't know, but right now he's got that position flex that's really key for us, and he's got a mindset about him. Jackson's probably going to be a tackle, just a pure tackle, and Olas, was a guard, obviously, so that's what you come in thinking when you see the depth chart that was here in place before us. And we'll just keep cross-training, dual training guys, and we do that across the board at a number of positions. We got receivers that can play inside, outside. We got safeties that can play corners that can play nickel, all that kind of stuff. And that's I think going to be important for our depth and readiness when different adversity hits us.
All right, I like that. Olas Allen, and to hear positive things about him. And then, one of the freshmen that we didn't really talk about, we're going to spin the wheel in 2 seconds. I think we're ready to go. But it was great to hear really good things about Michael Carroll. And it sounds like to me that Michael Carroll is versatile enough to play inside or outside. So what that means is going to be a starter. Doesn't sound like it, but it sounds like he's a very qualitative reserve. And I know he touched on it a little bit, but Jackson Lloyd is another player that I think made a lot of steps forward. Now, 2 other freshmen that probably are still in development, Micah DeBoer and Mal Waldrop, if you're out there and you're trying to dive in and have a microscope on the freshmen. But it seems like Michael Carroll and Jackson Lloyd probably a little bit closer to contributing for Alabama, than the other 2. I'm going to take just a 2-second break, and then I'm going to come back and spin the pinwheel. Hang tight for just 1 second. I'll be right back. All right, that was a quick break. All right, here we go. All right, so no, I don't even have a sponsor. If you're a business owner and you want to be a sponsor, that would be legit. So contact me. This is my email. If you want to be a sponsor of the show, that would be amazing. Even like a national show, that'd be tight. I definitely need some sponsors. Did you know it was crazy because last year we had, I think collectively throughout the whole year, however like YouTube puts it, it was like 11 million views, which is just crazy. I know a lot of people are the returning viewers, but it's great. And I love the fact that I can say this about myself, that I stand on my own 2 feet. Like I'm not salary. I'm literally like just a business owner. And if you're a business owner out there, more ups, more downs. Sometimes there's downs and you just got to fight through it. But I love the fact that I could say I could stand on my own 2 feet. You know what I'm saying? All right. So pinwheel. Okay. This is for the Ryan Williams hoodie and how this will work. So pay attention. Eyes up. So what we got here is we have there's a few people that I put in, a few, their names in twice, which is cool. How this will work is we are going to spin the wheel. And the first is, actually, I didn't tell you guys I was going to do this, but I'm going to give out this as the runner-up, and we're going to do the runner-up first. So I'm going to give away this first, okay? So you got a Alabama decal that you can put on your truck or whatever. This will be the first pinwheel, and then the second pinwheel will be the hoodie, okay? Then we'll finish out the show. Okay, guys, ready? So this first pinwheel is for the decal, okay? And if you want to get into future raffles, all you got to do is Venmo and follow the rules. Pretty simple. Bama_YouTube, Cash App, Bama YouTube. If you want to send a tip or you just want to support the show, those are other ways to do it as well. All right, so here we go. This is for the decal. This is not for the hoodie, okay? This is for the decal, not the hoodie. And the winner of the decal is Paul Gonzalez. All right, Paul. Congratulations, Paul. Email me. This is my email. It's my old work email, so that's it. All right, so Paul wins the decal, okay? Paul decal, okay? All right, next up. You guys ready? All right. Here we go. Paul wins the decal. So decal goes to Paul. Okay. And next up is the pinwheel. We go back to the pinwheel. And here's the hoodie. Okay. Here's the hoodie. So you got to email me so I can get your shipping information and I'll send it to you. Okay. Here we go. Hey, Drewski, what's up, man? I appreciate you being here, bro. Thank you so much. About to hit the golf course at 1 p.m. Okay. 1 p.m. Feeling good. Shout out to New Mexico. Yeah, Case, is that where you're at? Or is that where Paul's at? I missed the New Mexico reference. Okay, here we go. This is for the hoodie. 3, 2. Hey, and just be sure that you hit the like button. All right, this is for the hoodie. 3, 2, 1. Hey, all right, Alex Wilder, congratulations. Alex Wilder hit me up, bro. Alex Wilder was a late addition too this morning. So Alex gets the Wilder hoodie. Email me, bro, and I'll send it out to you today. So I have no idea like how the shipping works. The times that I've gone through Athletes Thread, and if you want to just support the players on your own, go to Athletes Thread, type in your favorite athlete, whether that's Ryan Williams, Jan Miller, Ty Simpson, see what gear they have, and you can buy that gear. I know, like I like wearing the players' gear. I think it's tight. Like the caricatures, whatever. So congratulations, Alex. Way to win it, man. It was 10 to win. You guys dumped in, and, Alex comes away with the winner. We got a new subscriber as well. All right. So good stuff, Alex. Congratulations, bro. And, this is the hoodie that you'll get. And you have to send us a picture of you rocking the hoodie. All right? Okay. We continue with the show. Here's Ryan Grubb talking about the younger guys from the offensive line, and then we'll wrap it up here on Bama Football on YouTube this morning. But here's Ryan Grubb, who, by the way, I love when he's at the podium. All right? So Ryan Grubb talking about the younger guys from the Alabama offensive line.
Just what did you learn about the offensive line this spring with some of the injuries you've had, some young guys getting more reps?
Yeah. We had more versatility than I initially anticipated. And what I mean by that is Olas was a guy that got out there and played left tackle almost every day, but certainly had opportunity at left guard. And I think Olas could play left tackle. I think he could play right tackle. I think he could play left guard. So you see a guy like that is cleanly able to function from the outside to the inside, and you're really happy about the versatility you can get there. So he's one guy that stood out. I thought Cam and Gino were guys that really stood out as far as they could play left guard and right guard, and then Gino could play left, right, or center. So that part, you just look at those three players right there from the interior standpoint, and man, you feel really excited about where you're at and where you're going. So those are guys that showed up every single day.
One of the players that probably doesn't get enough publicity is Gino Vandermark. I think he's one of those guys in the down and dirty that's very versatile. Left guard, right guard, center position. He came here from Michigan State, and I think he was quality last year, and I think he'll be quality this year. So having a quality reserve, especially when the season is such a grind, is something great to hear. By the way, W-O-E, we're going to roll you over into the next raffle. So remind me on that. I'm going to write your name here. But we'll get you in the next raffle. So I appreciate you being here, bro, and thanks for your support. All right, we continue with Ryan Grubb. Oh, this is another look at the Alabama offense in case you missed it. This was an interesting – this was interesting. Alabama took a transfer in this last transfer portal from Ball State. You've seen this, right? Arquel Anugum. I love to say his name. I say it all the time. Sometimes on my evening shows I like to mess around. It's like Anugum from Street Fighter. He's kind of like a project type player. Here is Ryan Grubb talking about Arquel Anugum.
The Ball State transfer, kind of the progress that he's made over the course of this spring.
Yeah, I thought Arquel, really did a nice job. Worked a lot. He worked both sides, right and left tackle. And I think that was probably new to him. He is young to the game of football in general. So I think, as far as a project type player, that would certainly be kind of fit the mold for where he's at. His commitment level is off the charts. He stays after every practice and, tries to work drills. And just really, I think for him right now as a developmental player, he is just trying to get his skill set where it needs to be so that he can compete consistently.
Wilkin Formby was a guy who maybe battled the learning curve a little bit last year. I'm curious what you saw in terms of progress with him at right tackle.
Well, Wilkin, one of his things was the physical part, just like any young offensive lineman. And, tip of the cap to Dave Ballou and his staff. Nobody does it better anywhere in the country than them. And where Wilkin's at now compared to where he was at physically last year, there's a big body of work that's been done. And I thought even just if you just take run blocking, Wilkin had to work a ton at pad level, hand placement, just being able to engage people when he, obviously a longer player. And I thought you could see the physical development with him. He just looked like a different player out there very early on because my early impression, of Wilkin was just the film that I had seen from last year. And, guys like that, you come into a situation like this and you hope that they've made some big strides. And I certainly think Wilkin had done that and was really happy with where he ended up this spring. He's got a long ways to go. Still got a ton of work to do. He knows that. And he's ready to get to work.
Let me ask you something. As we kind of move forward and kind of come to the close, regarding Wilkin Formby, let me just ask you this. Yes or no, has your confidence level improved after spring football regarding the right side of the offensive line? Yes or no? And look, I'm not being fancy here. Like I would tell you, if I was still worried about the offensive line, I'd tell you. I think my confidence level, yes, I would say it's, hearing from the coaches, but hearing Ryan Grubb saying is a long way to go. But until we really get into the trenches, we're never really going to know. All right. Like, I don't know if we'll even learn the first couple of games. You got, those should be games where Alabama is heavily favored to win. But the meat of that SEC schedule is going to be crazy. And there were some times last year where Alabama, the offensive line, where they were just beat up. They weren't fast enough. And you got a hell of a schedule. And you're facing some very talented teams that return a lot on the defensive side. So I feel a little bit more positive. So I would say yes, but until we actually see it, right? Like action says it is more than words. It's same thing, Ron. I got you. Yeah, 100%. And then, yo, man, this is awesome. This is inside the comment box. Your mom's favorite Junior 13? That's fine, man. I'm Big Woe, 1331. My name is Jonathan. Roll Tide to you, bro. Hell of a name, your mom's favorite ginger. And then somebody hit an eagle on was it Ryan? I think Ryan hit an eagle on a par 4. That's what's up, man. Good for you, bro. That's hard to do. Okay, so let's take one last look at it. The Alabama offensive line. And as I always do, I ask you guys right here to always contribute. I want to hear what you guys have to say. So on a scale, here's the offensive line. Okay, the whole board right here. Cam Dewberry, Arquel Anugum, Caden Proctor, Parker Brailsford, the whole list. You can see it just like I could see it. On a scale of 1 to 10, Alex, who won? You won, bro. Alex, I told you, man. Look, Alex, nmpreps@gmail is my direct email. Email me, bro. You weren't even here and you won. So email me. And then the decal went to Paul. All right, so on a scale of 1 to 10, what is your assessment of the Alabama offensive line? Like 10, absolutely elite, best offensive line in college football. 7, you're like, okay, pretty good. We need to see it in action. 5, you're like still mid. Or 4, you're like, honestly, Kyle, this is straight trash. So what you got? I'm gonna say, okay. Caden Proctor returns. This will be his 3rd year starting. Parker Brailsford, this will be his 3rd year starting. He's a returning All-American, right? Probably one of the best centers in the country. Jaden Roberts, this will be his 2nd year starting. That's 3 offensive linemen that, are starters. Wilcom Formby, I think, started 1 or 2 games last year. Oh, we need a Crimson Crane emoji? That'd be tight. Yeah, I could work on that. I think, yeah, you know what? These are, God, this is so realistic. These are good. Okay, Rich B saying mid plus 7. Dre is a little bit more optimistic with 8. Case is saying 7.5. I was going to say 6.5. And I know that's low, but Eric's going there too. I think I'm going to say, I guess I'll say 6.5. Okay. So and this is, look, Cam DeBoer didn't start here. That's a big jump stepping up for Tyler Booker. And we don't know how, we won't know until the Bulls start flying about Wilcom Formby. Not that I'm doubting him. I just want to see it with my own eyes. And then underneath that, I think the twos at the tackle position are still unproven as well. Not a lot of programs are going to have, twos that have a lot of experience. How good are these guys? So I know it's probably a little bit lower. Lil Ye thinks we need a running back? No, man. Our running backs, we're stacked. We talked about that. What was that, yesterday? A couple days ago? Yeah, Joe Crooms has it at DeBoer at guard. So do I. So I might be a little bit low, but I guess we'll have to see it. All right. Hey, Eric, thank you, bro. Great is, 6.5. All right. Yo, so I hope that you guys liked the show today. All right. I hope that you guys, had a good time. I had a really good time, and I love when you guys are up in the house. Look, I know you guys are busy. It's 10 a.m. Probably, maybe you're just watching it, listening to it, whatever. But thank you. I just want you to know I sincerely appreciate you guys being here, and I really appreciate the back and forth. I think most of the shows out there, for the most part, they have, 2 people kind of running the point, and which I think is a great format. For me, I'm comfortable in my own space, and this is kind of where, how I've learned to do things. So I go to you guys for a lot of the feedback, and I will have a call-in show, as we go forward as well. D, go ahead, man. Shoot your shot, bro. And then if you're new to the channel, I'm live every day, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Central Time, and then as major news happens. Usually, though, when I leave my, I say studio, it's literally just my 3rd bedroom where I have I'll give you guys a full look at the studio sometimes. It's just a bedroom. And my son does the lighting. So Caden, he'll come in here and make sure the lighting. Oh, see, we don't even have one of the lights lit up in the back. But D, did you have a question, man? I'll stick around until you pop it inside the comment box. Oh, Alex, I just got your email, bro. Oh, okay. This is, you know what? This is a really great question. Really, really great question. So D is asking, how well do you think Ty Simpson will throw the deep ball? Man, great question, because this is really something that we haven't seen yet. And look, Lance, for sure. Yeah, home office deduction. Yeah. We haven't seen Ty Simpson really throw the deep ball and the opportunities that we've seen him get onto the field. Now, Ty Simpson has played, in 15 games, something like that? Sparingly. where we've seen, I kind of go back to a couple different instances where I saw Ty Simpson. One was against Kentucky. That was a couple years ago now, where I thought that, we saw some good things from him. And then I look at the game against Wisconsin, where ironically he was going to Caleb Odom, who left, and he was kind of working that intermediate area. The only real time, and you guys will have to help me too. Maybe let's think about this for homework. This is a damn good question. The only time that I really saw him throw like a deep ball was against Mercer. Is that right? Like, how many times have we seen in the opportunities that we've seen Ty Simpson? Now, I know we have some one-on-one footage and, from this practice or whatever, but I don't know. Ty's fast. Ty is a fast runner. He's scored touchdowns from like 40 yards out and some A-Day, and, he's fast for sure. I just don't. The only ball that I've seen him throw deep was the Mercer game. That one where I always talk about it? He like chopped his feet and bombed it downfield. Other than that, I don't know if we've seen him with that deep ball. Now, look, is the deep ball important? Of course. But I think with the weapons that you have this year, you have a lot of underneath routes. So I would take accuracy and the ability to read the field within, 30 yards under, opposed to somebody that can just hit the deep ball. Because I think these wide receivers in space, if you can just get them the football, they can do the rest. Do you see what I'm saying? And I think that's what Ty's going to bring to the table. Not to say that he doesn't have a deep ball. I haven't seen that from his game yet because he's just had limited opportunities. So, damn good question. And that's something that's on my mind too. All right. I appreciate you guys for being here. Thank you so much. Every show is crafted right here from my heart. Check out my men's devotional channel. It's a work in progress. Just like me, I'm trying to strengthen up spiritually. If you want to join that journey, then pop on. And I posted the link inside the comment box. Some of them are deep, man. You get me talking about my kids and faith and stuff like that. It's deep. But I needed to strengthen up in that area. And, one day at a time, never quantum leaps, right? It's never about the destination. It's about the journey. Kobe Bryant, the Mamba mentality. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Stay where your feet are at. Stay blessed. Stay grounded. Stay humble. I appreciate this beautiful thing that we call life. Coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama on this fine Thursday, April 17th. Kyle Anderson of Bama Football on YouTube. I appreciate you guys and have a wonderful day. See ya.